Liam Crane was allergic to women. Not in the metaphorical sense. Not in the awkward tech guy who gets nervous around girls way. No. Liam broke out in hives. His throat swelled. His heart raced like it was trying to outrun something inside him. Doctors had run tests for years. There was no clinical explanation. So they called it what they always do when science fails: psychosomatic. The world, of course, didn't know. To investors, clients, and the fanged world of venture capital, Liam was just a genius with poor social skills. A Harvard dropout who built an enterprise AI platform worth $2.3 billion before he turned 36. Quiet, precise, always in a suit, never at parties. Unavailable. The kind of man people mistook for mysterious because no one could admit he was just haunted. He was in the middle of a pitch when it happened again. Conference room, 40th floor. Late afternoon sun slicing across the glass walls like heat lamps over a lie. Maxwell Kwan, the potential investor, sat with his daughter, a strategy associate, next to him. She laughed at something Liam said, touched his forearm, just a moment, fingertips barely there. Liam froze. His neck flushed crimson. A familiar crawling sensation tore up his spine. He tried to push through the slide deck, but the words blurred. "Are you all right?" the daughter asked. Liam stood, stammered something about a migraine, and nearly knocked over his chair. As he left, she glanced toward her father. Maxwell said nothing, but his jaw tightened. By the time Liam made it to the bathroom, his eyes were bloodshot, his collar soaked in sweat, his skin a landscape of red blotches. Later that night, his phone buzzed. Maxwell's assistant. A meeting had been scheduled. Not a pitch this time, but dinner. Just him and Maxwell. When Liam arrived at the restaurant, minimalist, overpriced, and deathly quiet, Maxwell was already sipping a glass of wine. "Liam," he said, motioning to the seat across, "you know I believe in you. I've seen your numbers. Your platform's an operational miracle." Liam nodded, trying to regulate his breathing. "But when I back a founder, I don't just invest in a brain. I invest in the human. And frankly, you're a question mark." Liam stiffened. "I understand. You're brilliant, but brilliance can't run a company alone. I need to know you can manage relationships, pressure, people, life." "I can," Liam said. Too fast. It sounded rehearsed, like a child caught lying. Maxwell tilted his head. "Then tell me about your personal life." Liam blinked. "I don't see how. You're 37, never married, no partner listed on any of your bios, zero footprint, not even a bad Tinder photo. That level of emptiness isn't privacy, it's pathology." Liam's fingers curled under the table. "I'm not saying get married," Maxwell added. "I'm saying show me something real. Someone real. By Q4, I want to meet the person you're building a life with, or we're out." He left it hanging there, like a price tag on a wound. Liam couldn't sleep. He lay on his back in the concrete silence of his penthouse, watching the ceiling like it might explain what just happened. His throat still felt tight. He tried to write a counter-proposal, then a PR strategy, then a fake dating business model to justify it to himself. At 2:46 a.m., he walked back to the office. Security waved him through. The building was mostly empty, just one woman mopping the floor near the elevator. She wore headphones, oversized hoodie, faded track pants. She moved fast, like she didn't want to be seen or wanted to be done. Her hands were raw, her expression neutral. When Liam stepped off the elevator, she startled, pulled one earbud out. "You're not supposed to be here," she said. "I work here," Liam said, monotone. "Cool. I clean here." He walked past her. 15 minutes later, he was slumped against the glass hallway, halfway to unconscious. It wasn't an attack, just exhaustion. But still, when she found him there, he didn't resist. "You okay?" she asked. He nodded, didn't open his eyes. "You look like a ghost. You on something?" He forced a breath. "No." She crouched beside him. "You have panic attacks often?" Liam blinked at her. "How do you know it's a panic attack?" She gave him a look. "Because I've had 100 of them." He studied her, the hoodie, the eyes that didn't flinch. "What's your name?" "Rina." "You work for Capstone Janitorial?" "Technically, I work for the subcontractor who works for the subcontractor who lost the capstone bid, but yeah, I clean your floors." There was something in her voice, sharp, unafraid. He didn't know what he was doing when he said the next thing, only that the words fell out like an instinct trying to survive. "I'll pay you $10,000, he said, "to pretend to be my fiancé." She laughed, thought he was kidding. When she realized he wasn't, her face changed. "What kind of sex trafficker sentence was that?" "No sex," he said quickly. "Nothing physical. Just presence. One weekend. I need to appear emotionally credible." She stared at him. "I know it's absurd," Liam added. "You can say no." "Oh, I'm definitely saying no." Rina stood up, picked up her mop, walked 2 steps, then stopped. She turned around. "Wait, 10 grand for 2 days?" "Yes." "Do I get to insult you the entire time?" "If necessary." She studied him. "Fine, but I want it in writing, and I want half up front. I don't care if you're the ghost of Elon Musk. I don't do IOUs." Liam nodded. "Deal." "Also," she said, "I don't cook, I don't pretend to like jazz, and if your rich friends get handsy, I walk." "Understood." She walked away, mumbling something under her breath. Liam didn't catch all of it, just the last part. Man allergic to women wants a fake girlfriend. What the hell kind of rich people Twilight Zone is this? The contract was 2 pages. Liam drafted it himself. Rina read it while eating a gas station sandwich in the lobby of Crane Systems HQ. Her hoodie still smelled faintly like bleach. Clause 9 says I have to smile at reasonable intervals. What the hell does that mean? Liam didn't look up from his laptop. It means during public interactions, when people are watching. And if I scowl, what? I get fined? No, Liam said calmly. It just undermines the illusion. Rina tore off a piece of sandwich and popped it in her mouth. You're real good at pretending this isn't creepy. It's not, Liam said. It's strategic. She snorted. Yeah, that's what serial killers say. Liam adjusted his glasses. He was wearing the same navy sweater as yesterday, same pressed trousers, like he lived on a loop. I've scheduled a weekend trip, Maxwell's Lake House in Vermont. There'll be several other couples, business types. It's informal, but highly scrutinized. Rina raised an eyebrow. So, I'm supposed to blend in with millionaires who summer in cabins? Yes. Buddy, I own 1 pair of jeans, and they've got paint stains on the ass. I'll take care of wardrobe. She eyed him. What do I have to know? About you? About us? Liam hesitated. You were my college sweetheart. We reconnected during a conference in Chicago. We've been dating for a year, engaged for 2 months. Rina tilted her head. That timeline makes no sense. I know. You got any family I need to impress? No, he said too fast. Just my sister, but she's not involved. Right. And what about my life? What do I do? Where'd I grow up? You're an art therapist. You specialize in trauma work with children. Grew up in Cleveland. Rina blinked. You made me a children's therapist? It creates sympathy, depth. You're not just arm candy. Could have asked what I actually do. I know what you do. She narrowed her eyes. You mean mopping your piss-stained floors at 3 a.m.? Liam winced, just barely. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. She leaned forward, elbows on the table. You really that afraid of women? I'm not afraid, he said. My body reacts. To what? I don't know. Intimacy, presence, proximity. She studied him. So what? You ever been in love? Liam looked away. That's not relevant. Wow, she said, laughing. You can code a neural network, but can't answer a yes or no question? Liam didn't respond. Rina sat back, chewing. Fine, I'll learn your little lies, but you better not flinch if I touch your arm in public. I'm not going to be the fake fiancée who looks like she's holding a ghost. The drive to Vermont was 6 hours. Liam offered to fly. Rina refused, said planes made her ears pop and her temper worse, so they took his electric SUV, which she promptly called a spaceship for fragile men. They rehearsed their backstory during the drive. She kept interrupting with ridiculous improvisations. And then, Rina said, we reconnected in Chicago when you spelled a soy latte on my sketchbook, remember? And I was like, wow, this guy still has no upper body strength? That didn't happen. Does now. You need to stay on script. Dude, this isn't Succession. These people want drama, not data. They want believability. Same thing. They stopped once. Gas station, coffee. Rina got a hot dog and ate it in the car. Liam looked vaguely nauseous. You eat like a toddler on parole, he said. She grinned. Keep talking dirty to me. He turned his face toward the window. The lake house was larger than most hotels. 3 stories of polished pine, glass railings, and generational wealth. Other guests were already there. Couples in Patagonia jackets and Rolex watches. Everyone smelled like eucalyptus and old money. Maxwell greeted them at the door, smiled wide. Didn't hug. Liam, he said, and this must be... Rina, she said, offering her hand. He shook it, paused a beat too long. Therapist, right? Art therapist, but mostly I just listen while kids draw pictures of burning houses. Maxwell blinked, then laughed. You're funny. Sometimes, Rina said, when I'm sober. Liam almost choked. They were shown to their room, a minimalist suite with a king bed and a view of the lake. Rina dropped her bag and looked around. There's one bed. Yes, Liam said. She looked at him. You think I'm sleeping in it with you? There's a couch. There's a porch. Rina, she sighed. Fine, I'll take the bed. You can curl up like a sad little bat on the floor. He nodded. Acceptable. Dinner was long, wine-heavy. There were stories about venture deals and private chefs and someone's friend's vineyard in Portugal. Rina held her own, played the role with just enough sarcasm to feel real. She laughed at Liam's jokes, even the ones that weren't, touched his arm twice, once even rested her head on his shoulder. Liam's skin didn't break out. He noticed. So did she. Back in the room, she kicked off her shoes and flopped onto the bed. Your friends are exhausting. They're not friends, he said. They're surveillance. She looked at him. You actually care about this deal? Yes. Why? It's a capstone project, he said. Global infrastructure optimization, real-time distribution channels for disaster zones. Rina blinked. That's actually kind of amazing. He nodded, surprised. She looked at him for a beat. You really don't see people outside work? No. Ever? No. Jesus, she said. No wonder your body thinks women are poison. He didn't smile, but something flickered, like a glitch trying to fix itself. She sat up. You know what I think? No. I think you're lonely, but you think loneliness is safer than being disappointed again. He stared at her. You don't know me. Maybe, she said, but I see you. For the first time in years, Liam didn't feel like running. They didn't kiss that weekend. Not really, but there was a moment. It was late, Saturday night, and most of the guests had migrated to the fire pit outside. Rina and Liam stayed behind under the guise of fatigue. Truth was, neither wanted to keep performing. Rina stood barefoot in the kitchen, swirling a glass of whiskey she'd stolen from the bar. Liam sat at the counter, slowly peeling the label off a bottle of water like it had done something wrong. You ever get tired of pretending? She asked. He didn't answer immediately. Which part? That you're fine. Liam looked up. His face was unreadable, but his fingers had stopped moving. I used to think I had to earn stillness. Like it wasn't mine unless I'd solved everything first. The company, the trauma, the whatever this is. He gestured toward himself, vaguely ashamed. Rina nodded, then took a long sip. When I was 15, my foster mom used to say people like me were born to clean up other people's messes. Said it was our purpose. Liam frowned. That's cruel. It was accurate, she said, smiling without joy. Problem is, I started to believe it. Every relationship I've ever had, me mopping up after a man who thought I was lucky to have his crumbs. You deserve more than crumbs, he said, too quickly. She looked at him. I didn't mean... It's okay, she said. That's the first honest thing you've said all day. They stood in silence for a while, the kind that isn't uncomfortable but delicate, like stepping across a frozen lake. Then she walked toward him, slow, like she was giving him time to flinch. He didn't. She stopped inches away. Do you want me to touch you? He didn't speak, just nodded. She raised her hand, gently placed it on his chest, light, just over his heart. His eyes closed. No hives, no panic. Just the sound of two people trying not to breathe too loudly. Then he pulled away. Sorry, he muttered, stepping back like he'd crossed a line even in his own script. Rina didn't push. It's okay. You don't owe me a miracle. Back in the city, they didn't talk for 2 days. Rina went back to work, technically, but she found herself mopping slower, staring at windows longer. She'd caught something in that lake house she didn't have a name for, and it itched. Liam texted her the following Wednesday. A simple message. Come upstairs. Bring your sarcasm. She arrived at his office wearing a denim jacket over her hoodie. He was sitting at a new desk, lighter wood, fewer papers. You redecorating? She asked. Jules said the other one was too aggressive. Jules? My sister. Rina raised her eyebrow. Wait, you have a sister? And she's... real? He nodded. She was in med school when I started the company. We were close. Then we weren't. What happened? He looked down. She saw the worst of me, and I wasn't ready to admit she was right. Rina sat across from him, arms folded. So why'd you invite me here? He pushed a folder toward her. Job offer. Real one. Executive assistant. High pay. Benefits. Flexible hours. She opened it, blinked. This isn't a joke? No. You want the janitor who mocked your wardrobe to be your EA? You're organized, unafraid. You notice things others don't, and he paused. I don't react to you. She stared at him. You mean your body doesn't treat me like anthrax? Exactly. She leaned back. So what happens to the fake engagement? He didn't blink. We let it fade. Quietly. And us? Liam hesitated. I don't know yet. They worked together for 6 weeks. She showed up on time, took no shit from his board, helped rework internal workflows that made his developers want to cry. She even got a raise by threatening to quit via post-it note. They didn't touch, not in any real way, but something was building. Liam had never been this close to anyone. Rina had never been this trusted. One night, after a brutal strategy session, he walked her out. She was chewing a toothpick and talking about her brother, Manny. Special needs, living with a roommate who kept stealing his meds. He needs help, she said. I just can't afford the right kind. I can help, Liam said, without thinking. Rina froze. Don't. I want to. No, she said, stepping back. You don't get to rescue me. It's not charity. I know, she said. It's worse. It's guilt. Liam looked confused. Guilt for what? For dragging me into your mess, she said. For making me play dress-up in your grief while pretending it's growth. I thought We're nothing, Rina snapped. You built a sandbox and invited me in, but I have to live in the real world. Then she walked away. A week later, he showed up at her apartment. No suit, just jeans and a windbreaker, holding 2 plastic grocery bags. You cooking? She asked flatly. I Googled how to make lumpia, he said. Her eyes narrowed. Why? Because you said your mom used to make it, and I've never made food for someone before. She opened the door. He burned the first batch. They ate the second, in silence. Afterward, he washed the dishes. Rina watched him like he was an alien. Then he turned around, hands still wet. I don't know how to be with someone, but I know I don't want to practice with anyone else. Rina exhaled. That might be the most romantic malfunction I've ever heard. Liam stepped closer. She touched his face. And this time, he didn't flinch. They didn't tell anyone they were seeing each other. There were no labels, no Instagram posts, just quiet nights and skipped meetings. A rhythm. They'd order takeout and work on opposite ends of the couch. Sometimes they'd argue. Mostly they'd orbit. Liam stopped flinching when she touched him. His skin stopped reacting. The allergic responses just vanished. His therapist called it a breakthrough. Jules called it suspicious. It's psychosomatic, Liam told her. The body protects the mind. And what do you think she's protecting you from? Jules asked. Liam didn't answer, but deep down he knew. Rina didn't feel like danger. She felt like the first real thing. The night before the Q4 investor gala, Maxwell called. Final pitch, he said. You bring her, you hold her hand, and you tell the story. You show them you're stable. He didn't tell Rina about the call until the morning of. She was sitting on his bed, folding socks, an odd habit she claimed helped her think. So you want me to go back to pretending, she said, sock in midair. No, Liam said. I want you there as you. She looked at him. They still think I'm an art therapist from Cleveland. I know. And I'm still technically your fake fiancé? You're not fake. She stood. You never asked if I wanted to be real. He froze. Do you? I don't know, she said. I just know I'm tired of being convenient. At the gala, they played the part. Rina wore a navy jumpsuit that made her look expensive but unbothered. Liam didn't wear a tie, a small rebellion. Maxwell introduced them to two new investors from Tokyo, and Rina charmed them in broken Japanese she'd picked up from a YouTube rabbit hole the night before. Liam was radiant, alive in a way he hadn't been. People noticed. But not everyone. At the far end of the ballroom, Jules stood near the bar. She hadn't been invited. She came anyway. She always did. Rina spotted her first. "She doesn't blink," Rina whispered. "She's observant," Liam replied. Jules walked over. She didn't smile. "You two look believable," she said. Rina nodded. "We've had practice." Jules looked at Liam. "She doesn't know, does she?" "Know what?" Rina asked. Jules didn't look away. Why he's allergic. Why he flinched. Why he built a life without women. Liam's chest tightened. "Jules, not now." But Jules didn't stop. "You think you're better because you can hold her hand without breaking out. But that's not healing. That's hiding. You never told her about Mom." Rina blinked. "Told me what?" Liam looked down. His voice was quiet. "My mother was mentally ill, undiagnosed. She used to lock me in rooms when I cried, said I was too loud, too needy." He paused, swallowed. "She died in an accident when I was 12, but the damage didn't." Rina didn't speak. "I associated feminine care with punishment," he said, "with being smothered. My body learned to panic before I could." Jules softened, just a little. "You could have told me," Rina whispered. "I didn't want you to carry it," Liam said. "I was already carrying you," she replied. Then she walked out of the gala. The investment didn't come through. Maxwell called the next day, said the board was spooked by the emotional volatility, that they didn't buy the fiancé story after the abrupt exit. Liam didn't fight, didn't explain. He just hung up. He stayed in bed for 2 days. Jules brought soup, said nothing. On the third day, he went to the office, told his assistant to cancel all meetings, then he walked into the server room and sat on the floor. Rina wasn't answering his texts. He stared at the blinking lights, wondering if this was what rock bottom looked like for people who didn't scream when they hit it. Sometimes healing doesn't look like a sunrise. It looks like a man learning to hold a mop instead of a grudge. It looks like a woman choosing to be more than someone else's emotional scaffolding. Liam and Rihanna never got married. They never posted a ring photo or threw a party, but they built something steadier than a contract. They built eye contact, accountability, a language without lies. He still flinches sometimes, not from her, but from the old echoes. She still has days where trust feels like a trap door, but they show up, together. And maybe that's the whole point, not to find someone who fixes you, but someone who holds the mirror steady while you try. If this story stuck to your ribs, if it made you feel something quietly messy and unshakably human, then you're in the right place. We tell stories like this every week. Stories where love isn't clean, but it's real. So if you felt that, subscribe. Share this with someone who needs it. And remember, the realest stories are the ones we almost didn't believe ourselves.